Every legend begins with a story, but not every story tells the truth. Welcome to Bushido Chronicles, into history.
The biggest lie about ninjas. Was the black-clad ninja real? Why do we imagine ninjas dressed in black? From films, anime, and video games, the ninja is always shown as a shadow-like figure dressed in black. However, historical records from the Sengoku period contain almost no clear evidence that ninjas actually wore black clothing. One of the most likely origins of this image comes from Edo period Kabuki theater. Stagehands known as kuriko wore black costumes and were treated as invisible by the audience. This theatrical convention created a shared idea: black equals invisibility. Over time, this visual language was adopted in storytelling about ninjas. And gradually, it became the standard image. In other words, the black-clad ninja may not come from history but from stage performance. So what were real ninjas actually like? The word ninja was not commonly used during the Sengoku period. Instead, they were called shinobi, suppa, or rappa depending on the region. They were not elite warriors, but specialists hired by warlords. Their primary role was not assassination but intelligence gathering. They collected information about enemy forces, supplies, terrain, and possible betrayals. To do this, they disguised themselves as merchants, monks, farmers, or travelers. Their success depended not on fighting ability, but on remaining unnoticed. Historical texts such as the Bansenshukai describe shinobi as agents of observation and intelligence. In essence, ninjas were not warriors. They were intelligence operatives. The idea that ninjas wore black clothing is unlikely from a historical perspective. A person dressed in black would immediately stand out in a castle town. Instead, shinobi blended into society by wearing ordinary clothing. They disguised themselves as merchants, farmers, monks, or travelers. Their goal was simple: to disappear by becoming ordinary. Even their speech, posture, and behavior had to match local customs. Their tools were not specialized weapons but practical items adapted to each mission. Shuriken were not primary weapons, but secondary tools used for distraction. A ninja's true weapon was not clothing but adaptability. After the Sengoku period ended, the practical role of ninjas gradually disappeared. But as history faded, stories remained. In Kabuki and oral storytelling, ninjas became supernatural figures. They could vanish, pass through walls, and move beyond human limits. Later, film and television brought this image to a global audience. The black-clad ninja became a powerful visual symbol. Over time, fact and fiction merged into one cultural image. This is how the modern ninja was born. If you lived in the Sengoku period, you would likely never recognize a ninja. They blended into ordinary society. Among merchants, farmers, and monks, they disappeared completely. Their success depended on not being noticed. That is why so few names remain in historical records. And yet, their image survived through stories. The truth of the ninja exists between history and legend.
Beyond legend, into history. Bushido Chronicles.